This is Ashley Hodge with a SicEm365 post-game call-in show, and I'm joined by Mark Lyerly, fellow diehard Baylor fan. He's KE basketball on the message boards, and we've been to many Baylor basketball games together. Mark, it's good to have you in this co-host chair.
Honored that you'd invite me. Thanks.
Yeah,
great to be here. Yeah, and obviously it must have been a slow night, after you had Davion's uncle.
Yeah.
And you had
we got
mom.
Jared Butler's dad coming next week. So
yeah.
You're the fill-in, but you're a really good fill-in.
I don't know about that, but I gave you the analogy to use. The cat dragged the dead snake up to the back door, and here you have it.
Well, hey, what a game! I mean, that was quite the thriller. Not what we were expecting. A 23-point favorite against Iowa State. And the Bears needed every single ounce of energy and effort and grit to get that win. Iowa State played terrific. It's really a testament, I think, to Steve Prohm, because when you're 0-13, were they 0-12 or 0-13 coming in this game? I think they're 0-13
for sure, but it was bad.
Yeah. So they were 0-13 coming into the game, and for them to play with the fire that they played with, Tyler Harris, who was recruited by Baylor, chose Memphis. Didn't do much the first game, got pretty much shut out. He had a really good game tonight. He scored 22 points and 5 for 8 from 3. Rasir Bolton was pretty good as well, 21 points. But in the end, the Bears were triumphant, and they're 18-0. They're 10-0 in conference play, and their magic number to win the Big 12 is now one game. They just need to win one more game, and they clinch the Big 12 regular season championship. But obviously they want to do bigger things, and this is not a confidence-inducing performance tonight, although, hey, you'll take it. I mean, 21-day layoff, only 2 practices. We knew we were going to be rusty, and they sure showed some rust.
You need a win. You just need a win. And, as it turns out, we thought the Big 12 was messing around with us, and I think they did us a favor.
Yep.
I think it'll pay off that we get a little bit of time off on Thursday.
I agree. Well, what stood out to you today? I mean, Adam Flagler obviously had a really good game, scored 22 points, was pretty efficient, didn't turn the ball over. What was he your player of the game in your mind?
I told Armstrong on the way in. I watched a little bit this morning just to get a little bit of a feel for Drake and J.D. Today. I watch them fairly often, but I was coming in ready to hammer them, and I probably will before it's over. But somebody called. It was either one of the two of them, or it was one of the callers that called it. Said Flagler's going to be the player of the game, man, he did. He just showed so much grit, and I know it had to feel good because he's a guy that had COVID early in the year, and he struggled for a few games to be able to get himself kind of back in the groove, and to be able to step up and do that for the team is just really a great testimony to him as a teammate, and just picking up the load at a time when it was obvious, man, that some of the guys were really suffering from the lack of conditioning over the last few weeks. I mean, I don't know how much you saw. I saw it up fairly close, and
you could tell. You could
see.
They were grasping to get their legs at most of the game, really. But Mark Vital was huge. I mean, Mark, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. He just made winning plays when the game was on the line. And, I thought Maceo, Charlie Melton had mentioned this in an interview with us, that Maceo is one of those guys that just gets better at the end. And he made some really big plays, not only, rebounding-wise, had 5 rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds, had a nice little pass to Vital for the layup. And he made a couple really big plays, the baseline play, which I'm not sure wasn't out on him, but it was before the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
And, he got called for a travel, and there was a pretty good discussion between Coach Tang and Gary Maxwell after that one.
If it was actually a travel.
It's impossible to educate Gary Maxwell. He has learning disabilities. But I don't know, maybe it was traveling, but from where I was sitting, every time Gary Maxwell makes a call, it's wrong. So.
Yeah. He was one of the officials. He was the official that kind of swallowed his whistle in the West Virginia-Texas game on Saturday when Jericho Sims got fouled, supposedly. I think it was a foul. Should have gone to the free throw line. He wasn't going to make both free throws. But, the number to call in for the show is 254-339-1122. Is my eyesight good enough? We got a call on the line, Armstrong? All right. Who do we got?
Is my mic working? Okay. We got T-Rex.
Oh, T-Rex. What a surprise.
I'm shy.
Pretty shy. Pretty shy. Give us your opinion. What'd you see?
Hey, I don't know about you. I don't know about the next guy. But all Baylor does is win, no matter what. And I say, I never had a doubt, my brothers. I never had a doubt. See, all it takes is to win by 1 point. And that's what we did. I mean, we won by more than one, but you get the point, I mean, we won by 5 because they waved off the three-pointer. Who knows if it was in or not? Doesn't matter. No one took the 7-point spread, or whatever it was, 5-point spread. I think we all learned a lesson. Don't take Baylor if they're 23-point favorites. I really wish I would have bet like $10,000 on Iowa State because, man, I'd buy us all Final Four tickets. But I digress. I think there's a lot of things that this team can take away from this game. I don't think there's really any surprises necessarily, and I think a lot of people would agree. I mean, we knew we weren't going to come out on fire necessarily. I mean, we're probably, we wanted to play, but we practiced 2 times in 3 weeks, right? Yep. And anybody that's ever done any physical activity, and then takes a break, boom, you got to find your legs. I don't think necessarily we were like gasping for air, but definitely, we had to get loose. We had to get that stride. We got a couple of days to get practice in, get a shoot around at least in Lawrence on Friday, and we got all day Saturday to rest there at the hotel in Lawrence, Kansas. I can't wait because we got the rust knocked off, hopefully, and I'm going to be there on Saturday. Section 10, row 20, we're bringing it. I got a Kansas State fan that's coming with me.
Oh, good.
So that ought to be interesting. So, hey, Baylor Bears team, if you're listening, just win by 1 on Saturday, and we'll party it up. We'll take our trophy. Big 12, if you're listening, you can deliver it on Saturday. I'll take possession of it just in case no one else is available. I'll meet you outside Fog Island because nobody's going to be heating when they enter Fog Island on Saturday. SicEm Bears.
All right.
Hey, Travis.
Great win. Any win's a great win.
Travis, don't hang up on me now, man, because I can't call you T-Rex. The boss told me I got to call you Travis. That's her direct instruction. I got a little bit of business to conduct with you here. Earlier in the day, you called in, you slipped, and you said it's been a good run here at work. Had a meeting with your boss, got a bonus, and as a card-carrying member of the board of directors of the Bear Foundation, I'm expecting you to move that level that you're at up a couple now. So, the bill is in the mail. The bill is in the mail. You can send them.
The bill from the Bear Foundation is always in the mail.
Yeah, but does it ever come back? I'm sure. I know it does, man. We appreciate all your enthusiasm and everything else. I'm just messing with you a little bit. Yeah. I'm glad that you do what you do.
No doubt. Well, hey,
I appreciate everything the Bear Foundation does.
Thanks, T-Rex. Appreciate the call.
Hey, have a good night.
You bet.
Some kind of confidentiality.
Right.
So the fact that I haven't gotten some angry phone call from my father yet means that we're okay. We haven't gotten the bad people yet.
Yeah, there you go.
I was really encouraged by the game tonight. I got to say I was remarkably calm for how that went.
Right.
And I called in one of the shows this morning and I said, I think that it would be foolish of me to doubt the Bears. And I think, in hindsight, Vegas probably did set a number that was way too high. But the feeling that I had was that this team has faced so much adversity all year. And I think that anyone who thinks a Big 12 championship is tainted with, possibly only losing 1 or 2 or no games, and they say, oh, it was COVID, it was just handed to you. I actually think that winning in a COVID year means more because you had to face so much adversity just to get the games. And then when you got to the games, nobody's beating us. And a lot of schools, fans were being mouthy about us, trying to duck people today. And I said this to the guys earlier. All those schools seem to have trouble beating them each other because, the next closest school has 4 losses and we haven't played anybody 4 times, but nobody's beaten us.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma is struggling with Kansas State on the road tonight, and Kansas and Texas is close right now. I think one comment I would make about watching the game, and, not to pick on any of the players, but, Mitchell to me just seemed off on defense. Like he was going under screens a little bit too much and maybe not contesting like he normally does. And maybe if I watched the film, I would say no. He did pretty well, and because they were taking shots well beyond the 3-point mark. A lot of times they were taking shots on the move, and you want that as a defender. But they were 10 for 21 from 3-point range, and I just thought our 3-point defense wasn't as good as it could have been. Defensively is where I think our legs cost us. Obviously we didn't shoot the ball great from 3-point range ourselves. Jared Butler did. Adam Flagler was 4 for 10, but Davion was only 1 for 4. Maceo missed all 4 of his attempts. LJ Cryer missed his 2 attempts. So I think I guess what I want to get at is, the point I wanted to make is this, that Louisville came off a 20-day pause, I believe, and they got crushed by Carolina. And then the second game, they just beat Notre Dame by double digits tonight. So I hopefully that's a similar pattern for us. That first game we get the rust out, and then we get back to normal against Kansas. But I'm sure grateful right now that we don't have to play West Virginia
me too.
on Thursday.
That's why I told Armstrong I walked in that in Big 12, they did us a favor ultimately. I was a little upset about that. I thought they were pandering to Huggins. His press conference.
They finished with 4 home games in a row. So I'm sure West Virginia's happy about it too, because having to play 4 games in 7 days for them is pretty tough.
I actually like Huggins, but if he does a press conference now, instead of the one that he did before the trip up here to Texas, where he looked like he was hung over and about halfway asleep.
Right.
I think he'll look a little bit better this time around.
Sure.
He's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that he's got a few people that keep close eye on you.
Thanks, Stephen. We got another call, Armstrong.
We do. We have Anonymous talking about
great.
Baylor Bears basketball. Who knows what this might be? Anonymous, you're on.
Oh.
Baylor Bigfoot.
Hi, guys. Baylor Bigfoot. Double B's on the phone. First time caller, but a long time listener. I just want to say about Bob Huggins. He was always bugging me when I used to play at Baylor football.
Yep.
And I would go to the games. And he was always sitting on that little stool. And so when I was a kid, I was an athlete, I'd say, "Hey, coach, get on your stool!" if he ever stood up. And everyone around me just laughed and laughed, and he always looked at me like, Bigfoot, someday. So just want to say that.
Nice.
Also, I think the reason why I was such a close game tonight is because we didn't have the offensive and defensive talents of Mark Patterson to help buoy the team's spirits.
Yeah, Mark could have given us a lift.
You were a block or two short.
Of the team.
Well, and along that same line, I think equally valuable to Mark Patterson, Jonathan Tchamwa might have made a difference tonight as well. Obviously he's going through COVID protocol. We can connect the dots. That's what we think, right? Because he looked fine on the sideline. But hopefully we get him back Saturday for Kansas, because that energy off the bench is a big deal, and when it's missing, it's pretty.
Yeah, no doubt. And you could have used the legs, because I think Crum's game plan, he's a good coach. He's got some talent, and they haven't really come together this year. But his whole intention, and back to what you were saying about defense, he came out thinking we're going to be out of shape. We're going to have conditioning issues. We got a short
Full
bench.
court press.
And he pressed for at least half the game.
Yep.
He
Smart.
ran us hard, and really they moved the ball pretty well too. And there were places where the defense was stretched out, and they're about a half a step to a step slower with the conditioning, and they were getting open shots.
Right.
And that's really what the difference was. And Davion's such an amazing athlete. Watching him, he never looks tired to me, and he didn't tonight. But I do think conditioning was affecting him.
They played him 38 minutes.
I'm not going to name names, but there were other guys that typically are great athletes in great condition, and I could see within the before the first media timeout, the under-16 media timeout, that they were laboring.
Right.
And they'll get their legs under them, and by the time we get to hopefully the Big 12 tournament, and hopefully by Saturday they'll be better. But Prohm had a great game plan, and he ran us. And Bill Self's going to be doing the same thing, and they've got the horses to run us harder.
Right.
So we're going to have to be ready for that.
No doubt. Baylor Bigfoot, anything else? Is he out?
I just want to thank you guys for the call, and thank you for naming me Baylor's #1 athlete of all time. Listen. Dolby's out.
Thank you, Baylor Bigfoot, for calling in.
Okay, we got Riley Smith on.
Riley, what's going on, my man?
Hey, Ashley, how are you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on end of game. So I know obviously we're coming off the big break and everything. And honestly, I thought this game was a good thing for us.
Right.
Just we've been blowing the doors off of every team that we played. And so honestly, it was some good practice. I mean, we were absolutely gassed at the end. We were out on conditioning and they ran us the whole game like you were just talking about. And we hit our free throws down the stretch, and that's what's going to win us games in March. So I think that, as worried as I kind of was in the first half, if we were going to kind of get the momentum going, I was really, really encouraged by how we closed out the game. I just was curious if you saw the same thing, if you had any thoughts on that.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely encouraged by the fact that we got to the line and we didn't foul them. I mean, we had a 21-5 advantage at the free throw line. That was huge. And, obviously Flagler hit all his free throws. Teague hit all his free throws. And Butler, he's 5 for 8, missed a few there. But I think you want the ball in those guys' hands, and they got the ball in those guys' hands, and they hit their free throws and closed out the game. So, and then, like every team against us hits these half-court shots, but this one was after the buzzer, I guess, because they took it away. Rasir Bolton's. But, man, it's amazing how bad our half-court defense is against game-ending or half-ending shots.
I don't want to see any more.
Yeah, that's worrisome for March, man. March is the time for those shots to go.
We don't want any more RJ Hunter.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Seen enough of that.
Yep.
The other thing that really jumps out to me in the second half, the way we closed out the game overall, what do we have? I mean, I don't see the half and first second half splits, but we had 9 or 10 turnovers at halftime.
Yeah.
We finished the game with 12.
Wow. So only
we protected the ball
or
well.
2. We had 10 at half.
Did we have 10?
Yeah, because
it was either 2 or 3.
Yeah, Matt turned it over late, and I think that ended up leading to the 10th turnover. But, only 2 in the second half. And Davion took care of the basketball, 0 turnovers, 4 assists. He did a good job with his ball handling. I mean, his shot was off, and I thought his defense was a little off tonight. Yep. Thank you, Riley. Great call.
Welcome. I was going to talk to you, Ashley. Hey,
likewise. Armstrong, any in the hole?
We do. We have Franco.
Franco, what's up, my man?
Franco, you're on.
Hey, Ashley. Just want to say, great show. You're my favorite host on all of the SicEm365 Radio networks.
I'll PayPal you.
Never listened, but I like to call. There were a lot of plays run tonight. Could you describe all of those plays for me?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with the first one.
No, I'm kidding.
He's got the diagram out over here. He's saying, come on, you got to let it. Okay. Go ahead.
The thing I noticed was in talking about the maybe the fatigue factor.
Right.
It looked to me like, especially Davion and even Jared Butler, it looked like they weren't taking some threes that they would normally take off ball screens.
Right.
And I'm wondering if you think that may be some dead legs or they were worried about the shot because of fatigue. It just didn't look like they were hunting for that 3-point shot like they normally do.
Oh, yeah, no question. I think Adam looked like he had the freshest legs of the group. And, I mean, but he airballed that 3. Would have extended it to 6. I mean, it was a terrific play. Was it Teague that found him? I
think it was, but, man, that was a big
moment. So if he had hit that 3, it would have been 6, and that probably would have been the separation we needed to avoid any stress down the stretch. But I agree with what Riley said. I think these games can be helpful because, I mean, it's this is a time where every team is in a groove, and we're one of the few teams that's had this pause at the end of the season. I'm not that optimistic going into that KU game. I got to be honest. I mean, how can you be after this performance? I mean, maybe they'll step up to the occasion and clinch the Big 12 title. And I mean, with the Big 12 title on the line, maybe we'll see a renewed energy. But I mean, it's tough to get up for these games. I mean, these guys are all experienced guys. They had a feeling they were going to win. And then all of a sudden you're down 15 points, and
17. Because we were actually down 32-15 at one point.
So you just come out lackadaisical and expect it to be easy like the Kansas State games were. And
I don't even feel, I just, the first 3 or 4 shots didn't go down,
right?
And it just kind of set the tone
at
the beginning of the game. But back to the point that Riley made. Jared, at the beginning of the game looked tentative shooting the ball to me.
Right.
But in the second half, he put some shots up with confidence. First 3 that fell, man, it was a brick, but it went in.
Boy, that play he made in the lane. I think we were up 2, and he extended the lead to 4.
That was nice.
Where he reversed, and I mean, he is so crafty inside the paint.
Well, and Maceo also made some big shots down the stretch, and he's going to the bucket. Instead of taking those shots and settling for him, he's using that length. I mean, he's so long, and he's using it and getting that ball off the glass and getting points for us.
Jared is almost unstoppable going right. Maceo is almost unstoppable going left.
That's right.
He loves to go left.
He does.
And it's an interesting dynamic. But he made some big plays, no doubt about it. Thanks, Franco. Appreciate the call. Armstrong, we got any on hold right now?
We do. We have, what is it, Popcorn Guy?
Popcorn Guy. Okay. This
Matt
should be
DC.
interesting. Oh, Matt.
He's famous.
Yeah.
He's famous. He's
Hey, Matt, what's going on? I hear you're not going to the you're not going to the West Virginia game
Baylor
next week.
Popcorn Guy, yeah. What's that?
I hear you're not going to the West Virginia game next week.
Man, dude, it's Tuesday night, man. I like going to Morgantown on the weekend so I get the full experience. I just can't just go up on a Tuesday, man. Plus, last time I went there, it all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And when I did go there, actually on the way to Morgantown, I don't know if people knew this last year. Same type of year, I actually spun out going 70 miles an hour. I hit a patch of ice and hit a guardrail about 30 minutes outside of Morgantown. But luckily, the car kept driving. And then the snow hit us. We made it to Morgantown, got upset, but had a good weekend. Funny thing is, we drove it 3 hours back to D.C., and they still totaled it. So, hey, you know what? You tell me.
Wow.
Anyway. So, no, I won't be going on the Tuesday, but I'm going to get back there probably next year sometime, anytime soon. But, hey, hell of a game. Got the win. Whatever T-Rex says, he was nervous as hell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad that Taylor Bigfoot survived the freeze.
Yep.
Because I was afraid he wasn't going to survive the freeze being outside this whole time. So it's good to hear from him he's still alive. My main point tonight is I'm glad we didn't freak out when we got down by like 15 points. We kept at it. We kept fighting. We didn't freak out. We just kept shooting the ball. I knew it was going to hit. And then with about 6 minutes left when we got in the bonus, I was like, all right, Iowa State's going to mess up. We're going to take the free throws. We're going to get this win. And I'm glad that the players did actually play a lot. You said one guy had 38 minutes. Say the only way to get in playing shape is to play a lot of minutes. So, get after and get going.
Drew,
my question is, going into Kansas, what do you think is going to be our biggest challenge, or what's the most important thing we got to focus on? And I'll hang up and listen. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, well, I think getting Jonathan back would be huge because obviously David McCormick's been playing really, really well, and we played great. We took him out of the game in Waco. So if we can do that again, I think that's a big advantage. They rode the Fievel, Kendall Coutts phrase. They rode that a lot tonight. I mean, obviously putting Flagler in. Matthew Meyer, didn't play much down the stretch. He did not have one of his more efficient games. He was a little sloppy on both ends of the court. I think the mullet needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, that was Shannon's first comment. It's like, he's not going to get as many minutes because –
he'll play better. I think he'll have a big game at Kansas. I bet he has a big bounce-back game. But, yeah, my key is really controlling David McCormick because I do think our guards are better. And I think if we can control their inside game, then I think our perimeter will step up.
I think that's right. I think if we can keep McCormick from taking the game over and then, if we start trying to play down on him and that opens things up on the outside. The game here, those guys were unconscious hitting threes. And, we just need to keep him, get McCormick under control, so that we can get out there and, contest the three.
Yep. We got another call?
We do. Williams, I believe. Williams, you're on. You want to talk about Adam Flagler?
Sure. Well, it was Wine Guy, but thanks for
Wine Guy. Will Williams. Yeah. What's going on?
How are you guys tonight?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, no, I just thought Flagler obviously wasn't the one coming off of COVID in this.
Right.
And stayed in shape. I've never seen him look so calm in all of this. I mean, he was, when he got put in, it was just, it gave the team momentum, hit a few, and then he looked like he's going to be ice going forward. I mean, he was just watching him on TV. Like, he was so calm through all this. His eyes never got big in the moment. And he was just like didn't get upset when he missed one and kept firing. And boy, he was big in the first half.
Yeah, he was big in the first half, and he does a really good job of mixing up his shots. I mean, he shot 10 threes, which is a lot, given how many good shooters we have on our team. But he also does a really good job of driving and get, put back. He had a nice put back. Didn't turn the ball over like we mentioned before. Had a steal.
Reliable from the line.
He's steady. He's so reliable. I mean, I love Devontae Bandu, but I remember, thinking after I watched Flagler in Italy last year, I just remember thinking, man, Flagler's going to be better.
You went to Italy?
Yeah. Did you not know that?
No, I had no idea.
No, good comment. Any other comments? Anything else you saw, Will?
No, I'm really just hoping that they get the wind under them. I agree with a lot of what everybody else and what you guys have been talking about. It was a quarter, half a second late or quarter second late, just not quite there. Davion not quite in everybody's grill, kind of standing on flat-footed instead of up on his toes like he normally is.
Right.
We may lose one down the stretch, but provided we're just in tournament shape and healthy, before the Big 12 tournament and the NCAAs, I mean, it could be a break. It was interesting that Gonzaga's coach had said, he was jealous that Coach Drew got the break now when they had to take their break earlier because he was saying that we were going to be fresh. And you know what? Look, if we lose one between here and there, so be it.
Yeah.
We win this. The regular season title, not Kansas off that perch, and then be at full strength and be ready to roll in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I still want to go into that final game with Gonzaga, both teams undefeated. I think I know it's a fairy tale ending, but
it would be big. But
I know it would be awesome.
The probability,
but I'm not.
The probability is really low,
whether we're undefeated or not.
Right. No doubt.
So I got to give credit to the up-tempo guys. You called about Flagler, but I don't know if it was Drake or J.D. or one of the callers, but they called Flagler being the player of the game. And I got to give them credit. But I came in here ready to hammer those guys. And they just I don't know if you were paying attention today, but
I didn't get a chance.
I don't pay that much attention to the prognostications on the betting side. I mean, we had the handicapping hour for a while, and these guys were like diving deep for 3 or 4 minutes on High Point and Campbell. And I got to the point after a little while where I realized, man, they're true degenerates. They are true degenerates. I mean, he even knew that Campbell's mascot was the Camels. And
the fighting
disturbed
Camels, right?
me.
Yeah.
And I got to say too, and I think Armstrong, you'll have to appreciate this, and maybe I'll become your best friend. That those guys, they have a day job and they need to keep it because the singing, that's got to stop. My ears still aren't quite right.
Yeah, dang, good stuff. All right, thanks for the call, Will. We got it.
You're welcome, man.
You bet. We got any in the hole? All right. Let's see if we got any texts. Sometimes people text me questions.
Well, while you're looking for texts, the other thing those guys really if they had any guts, and my kids, they all would hammer me for this, because I'm an old guy and I'm a John Bon Jovi fan, but if they're going to do Dead or Alive again, they got to use that for the bumper music, Armstrong. They got to pull out the Bon Jovi on that thing.
True Green just texted me, says Kansas State's up 58-55 on Oklahoma right now. 1 minute left, and Kansas and Texas are tied at 62. So
64-62 Texas.
These games, man, these coaches know each other so well. They scout each other well. They're dogfights, especially as you come down to the end of the season. So lucky to get the win tonight, but feel blessed. I will have to give a shout out Rob Doster, who we do the Field of 68 Network with Jeff Goodman and Rob Doster, Jason King and I do. And he actually, on his podcast with Jeff, the Best Bets podcast, he was saying that he thought Iowa State would present a difficult challenge for Baylor in this game because coming off COVID, and he said the legs would probably be a little bit toast. And he said Iowa State's actually a pretty good one-on-one team. Like, they've got guys that can create off the bounce, Javon Johnson, Coleman Lands.
Harris did it tonight.
Harris tonight, obviously, and then Rasir Bolton's one of the best, one-on-one players in the.
They got talent.
12. Yeah, they do. They do.
And they got a couple of big men that have been there for a while too.
Yeah, Solomon Young, and
Condit.
Yeah, Condit, no doubt. All right, Kyle Stevens. She's been on our post-game before. She says, 2 things. This could be our gutsiest win of the year. Second, the post-game show, Drew mentioned he called 2 Hall of Fame coaches about what to expect. The advice was simple. Don't expect to look good and remain positive no matter what it looks like. He said it might take 3 games to get back to normalcy. So he's, let's discuss that. That's an interesting take. I think I heard him say that in the pregame show as well. So
yep,
yeah,
good leaders on that coaching staff. I mean, you got to be able to manage the ups and downs, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what we get Saturday because, I mean, they'll have a few more practices. Not having the West Virginia game is going to be a blessing. Yep. I mean, Kansas is extended tonight against Texas. That game, so flip of the coin with 4 minutes left. So, if Baylor, but with clinching the Big 12 on the line, I'm sure Baylor would love nothing more than to clinch the Big 12 at Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would be, really a fitting ending, to how things happened last year.
So big to win there last year, but then to be able to win and clinch, the first conference championship, there.
Especially if Kansas pulls us out tonight against Texas, because then they would have won 6 or 7 in a row.
Kansas State up 58-57 with 18 seconds to go now.
Man, high drama in the Big 12 tonight, no doubt about it.
Yep. The callers need to keep coming because if you don't get texts, we may have to start telling stories about Ed Kincaid, and I've got way too many, and I know you've got a few. And
he's our landlord. Keep that in mind.
I know that.
We had someone on Twitter comment, "I have a question, gentlemen," but failed to give their question. So please put that info as well.
Good. Come on, let's complete the process.
We can guess. Yes.
Yeah, we had a good time up in Kansas City. That was one of my more memorable Big 12 tournaments surrounding.
I had more fun with that one. I mean, honestly, I did. The Big 12 tournament's been fun over the years. We've done so many of them. But my favorite one, and I want to hammer the Big 12, but I'm happy with them tonight, a little bit, even though I'm not a big Bowlesby fan. Dan Beebe before that had some connections, and people were keeping me separate from him so I wouldn't do anything that would get me in trouble. And then, 2 or 3 years ago, we were there, at the Big 12 tournament, and, we were sitting right behind Shannon and I, a row of Iowa State fans. Yeah. And there was this young woman, and I'm going to protect her identity a little bit because there are a few descriptors that might give away more than we would want to give away here.
Right.
But in any event, it was either halftime or in between games, at the tournament, and they roll Bowlesby out to make an announcement, and he said whatever he said, and he was not very popular then, less popular now, but the whole crowd's booing him and going nuts, and she's in front of me, and she's screaming louder than everybody else in the arena. I mean, she's screaming at him, and she's dropping colorful language, like, dropping F-bombs at him. And so I let it, die down a little bit, and I couldn't, handle the curiosity. So I noticed that you're hammering Bob Bowlesby pretty hard. Now, we don't like him all that much, really, but, I know, you Iowa State fans, tell me the story. Why do you, dislike him so much? And she just went on and on. She was really animated, to say the least. And then came the plot twist where she said, he's just a total moron, can't stand him, we all hate him, but at the end of the day, when he shows up for the family events at holidays, we put up with him, he's my uncle. And
what can you say to that?
I'm glad he's not my family member.
That's classic.
And I think I ought to stop there. There's a transition into more material, but hopefully Armstrong got a call to save Ashley.
We got a call.
Good.
Right.
Ashley saved by the call.
We do have a call. I believe this is Gunny.
Oh, Gunny Hartman.
I believe we got Gunny Hartman. Is that correct?
Hey, what's up, Gunny? What's going on?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Good. How you doing?
Another glorious victory for the good guys tonight.
Yep. Can't go 32-0 until you go 19-0.
Yeah. Beautiful thing. As the legend, I was wondering if you could kind of fill in some gas for me here. As the legend goes, around 2015, Scott Drew traveled to Ames, Iowa, kicked down the door of the mayor's office and appointed himself the mayor of Ames. And I believe he's 12-3 against Iowa State since that day. And so my question was, Is this a permanent appointment, or will there be a term limit? Or will he get to enjoy that sparkling, crystal clear water for a lifetime?
I think he's what do they call it? Mayor emeritus? Like when you just become more of a figurehead. I mean, maybe we could say he's that.
He's been at it so long now.
Yeah. So is he 12-3 since that time? Because I know. So 3 of those wins were against Hoiberg, or 2 of those wins. Oklahoma just lost. Kansas State beat Oklahoma.
Not quite.
That's
right?
a big upset.
3 seconds left.
Oh, 3 seconds. And Oklahoma's ball?
I don't know. I didn't see it. It looks like it's off Manic. If they review it, it's going to go back to Kansas State.
All right. So Kansas State pulled the big upset.
Yep.
After beating TCU, man. Wow. 2 in a row for them. All right. So Drew is now 10-3 against Prom. He's really owned them like he's owned most coaches in the league. But definitely Shaka Smart. I mean, Shaka Smart got lucky that he didn't have to face Drew again this year and take another L. But yeah, I mean, I think I'll have to mention this because I love Doug McNamee. He listens to the show sometimes, and he said to me, and I remember this vividly, and it was probably around that 2014, 2013 time. He said, "We'll never win in Ames." He said, "I don't think we'll ever win in Ames." And since then, we've practically never lost in Ames. I mean, it's like we've owned them in Ames. So it's funny that some of those things stick out, and somebody says something, and you think you're never going to do it. Just like we thought we would never beat Kansas at Kansas, or we would never beat Texas. Back in the early days of the Scott Drew era. But once you break through, you can. Oftentimes those runs happen.
I'm glad they won that game there, and then, I went and saw them play in Ames and they won, and it was a huge game. Trying to remember who had such a good game. Freshman that day. Just it slips my mind now. But then we were in West Virginia. We won a game up there a few years ago by 30, and I'm
Royce O'Neal, Torian Prince, Rico Gallo. Everybody was shooting the ball.
That was a fun day, and that was a year or two after the original emergence of Willie Fredonia, and Willie nearly died that day. As he was there, and we were winning by 30, and he was screaming at the top of his lungs, and there were 3,000 students in the student section that were chanting not very.
Keep it together, Armstrong.
Yeah. That's all right. I made him mad. He's a Huggins fan. He was getting Armstrong's a closet Huggins fan. He's about to throw something.
All right, we got to cut Gunny short. Thanks, Gunny, for the call. Appreciate it, man. We got another call on the line.
We do. I believe this is True Green.
All right, what's going on, my man? Hey, James.
Hey, Ashley. Hey, guys.
What's going on?
Just wanted to get your thoughts on Baylor's first Big 12 championship.
Putting the cart before the horse. I like it.
The announcer's curse.
We're official now. We hit the magic number. It's official. We can't lose.
Because Oklahoma losing.
We're the Big 12 champions, boys.
Oh, man.
And I'll be in Lawrence on Saturday to celebrate.
Oh, it feels great. Yeah, congrats, man. That's going to be a fun time. I hope you come back with the W.
Just wanted to hear your thoughts on this journey, guys. Actually, you deserve it more than anybody.
I don't know about that. Man, it is incredible. I'm happy for Scott. I'm happy for the guys that we have that have put in so many hours to get to this point. I mean, that banner is going to look sweet in the Farrell Center. And, almost as good as Texas Tech's tournament banner that they're going to put up for last year when they were 18-13, 9-9 in the Big 12, and clearly a bubble team. But they said that on the broadcast that they're going to put a tournament banner up.
And it's all those big state schools in Texas that like to do stuff like that. I drive by close enough to see some of those things. I think I'll take
the Big 12 championship banner over that. Although,
exactly.
Yeah, and Tech has one of those as well. But yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Man, big win. Go Wildcats, man. They did us a favor tonight, huh?
Absolutely.
Just wanted to be your first caller after the Big 12 championship, guys. Great show.
So I guess if we go 10-4, then we still win it, right? Percentage wise, because nobody can catch us.
Oklahoma's got 5 losses.
Everybody's got 5 losses, and I think we got it.
Even if Kansas is 13-5, is that true though?
13-5. I ran those numbers earlier.
I would think 10-4 would be 71%. Kansas, if they go 13-5, would be 72%. So you put the cart before the horse, James.
We're not losing 4 games.
Baylor needs one more win.
Our magic number is still 1.
That's what I'd heard before.
But OU losing is big. That helps for sure. No doubt about it.
Alrighty, great show, guys.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks.
Awesome. All right. Are we done, Armstrong?
We have some more if you want.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Let's take them rapid fire. Here we go.
We got Marlon.
Ashley's nervous, actually. He wants the callers to keep coming.
Marlon,
what's going on, my man? How you doing? Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys. Appreciate the show.
Yeah.
I got to say, I've been a long-time Baylor basketball fan. It's nice to have our own call-in show. I never dreamed this would be a possibility following basketball since the Gene Iba days.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, I hope everyone appreciates what a special team this has been and what a special year this has been. For the longtime guys, they know what I'm talking about. But we used to dream and hope of just being in the NCAA tournament. And now we're talking, we're spoiled. We want to, if we're not going to be a 1 seed, we're going to be upset, right? So anyway, great gutsy win tonight. I didn't know what to expect coming off that long of a layoff. You really don't know what you're going to get. And obviously the legs weren't there, but they found a way to win, Yeah, so you got to give them credit.
No question. And Randall gave me a text and said West Virginia only has 4 losses also. Right. So they still need to drop a game. They're not in foreign conference, and so there's still work to do is the point. Baylor's got to win one more. That's the bottom line.
Back to that point about the program too. I mean, it was announced earlier today, and I don't think we talked about it here, but Kendall Brown was announced as McDonald's All-American.
Yep.
Got another one.
Yep.
Hopefully, we don't send any more postcards out to get us in trouble over that. But
who is it? So Tweedy, Perry Jones.
Oh yeah, that's 3.
Isaiah Austin, right?
Oh, you're right. Well, I'm way behind
because Quincy wasn't. I don't think he was McDonald's.
Was Perry Jones not a McDonald's All-American?
Yeah, he was. So Tweedy. Isaiah, Perry, and Kendall Brown. So this is our 4th.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. Incredible.
It's just, like I said, people that have followed Baylor basketball a long time, we are living in the golden age.
No question.
So enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Yep. It's good times. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Marlon. All right. We got another call?
We do. We have Franco.
Hey, Franco. So he's being like T-Rex.
Your texter stole my thunder. I was going to tell you that West Virginia only has 4 losses,
okay.
so our magic number is still 1. But I just wanted to say that KEB basketball is now my new favorite 365 network host. I think you should have a full-time job. That's about all I got.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Hodge is going to turn so bright red over that. No, I got to tell you, I'm flattered to be here. You're really nice to say that. The check is, I had it delivered beforehand, so you wouldn't have to worry about the mail. Thank you very much. Ashley and I go way back.
Yeah.
I appreciate him inviting me here, but man, I'll flip that thing around.
So can I tell the story of how we met?
You can tell all the stories you want.
I got a few. So Mark, yeah. So I actually dated Mark's lovely wife Shannon's sister in college, and so we met. I think we went to visit you in Houston. Was that right?
Yeah, after we were married.
And we were talking. My cousin played professional baseball for the Minnesota Twins, and you were a big Kirby Puckett fan. Was that
right?
I remember that.
I think you were too.
We talked about Kirby Puckett. And at the time, I think you were going to Harvard Business School at that time, weren't you?
I think we were back. Maybe
you were back from Harvard.
I don't
Business
know, one
School.
or the other.
Yeah, Mark's a brainy. I graduated from Baylor, and then he got a degree at business school at Harvard and private equity.
I try not to publicize that too much so the target doesn't get too big on my back. But.
We got Ivy League guys all over the place on this platform. We got J.D. during the day. We got Mark at night. It's Ivy Central over here, man.
Well, but I remember Shannon and I were talking about that.
Yeah.
We got you the Kirby Puckett figurine one year.
Yes.
I hope you still have that. I hope it's quickly accessible.
I don't know where that is, but it's probably been sold on eBay. No.
Yeah, you should have. It for like 79 cents or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was good times.
But that's good stuff.
Hey, guys, before we go, I just wanted to say one other thing. That at halftime, Ashley came up to me and said, "I'm worried."
Yeah,
me too.
I told him, "Don't be worried."
You did. You said that.
You got more faith than I was. Sending him text at halftime, telling him, I'm going to be the least popular guy ever.
Yeah. Well, and I was especially worried at the 10-minute mark because, I mean, we really hadn't cut into the lead. There's still like a 5-point advantage for Iowa State around that time.
Yep.
Hey, thank you, Franco. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Franco.
Is that it? Are we done, Armstrong? We got one more?
We got more if you want them.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's roll through them.
We have T-Rex again.
Oh, okay.
T-Rex is back.
Make it quick.
He's calling to tell me he's wiring the money.
Make it quick, T-Rex.
Wiring.
Hey, the money's on the way. Ashley, I'm sorry, but your suite at the McLean Stadium is now mine. Pack your bags, get on out. I'll let you come visit every once in a while. I may give you like a little cocktail weenie on a cracker or something. You can come make a charcuterie report for me.
All right.
I have one question. My brother keeps asking me, and I'm driving, so I can't really look it up. So I know that basically the magic number was 2 wins before this game today for us to be champions. Now with Kansas State winning, and the last time I checked, UT beating Kansas with like 2 seconds left. If Kansas loses tonight and Texas wins,
it's overtime.
Does it even matter if we win another game?
Yeah, well,
West
Virginia. West Virginia's got a chance. We definitely need to win another game. We just talked about that.
West Virginia's got 4 losses.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks for the call, T-Rex.
So, you know.
Okay, so it's worse than we could be co-champs because we could lose the next 4.
No, it's percentage.
Right,
it's percentage. Yeah, we got to win one more. One more. All right.
Second Bears.
Thanks, T-Rex. Appreciate you. Is that it?
That's all we have for now.
All right. Kyle had a text question. We'll get to the.
Yeah, you need to get to that, but I got another suggestion for you in the meantime because look, you guys need to change the time. I love Mac Rhodes. I really enjoyed getting to know him. I love Mac. I always listen to his interviews. But you got to quit putting him on at 4:20 in the afternoon. It's just not good. That's not a good look. And I like Mac. But you got and Shannon has gotten to know Amy a little bit. They're great people. We really like them a lot. But I got an idea for the post-game drinking game. And, I learned like all this gambling and drinking stuff, from my brother deacons in my Southern Baptist church and my friends that are Southern Baptist pastors. But here's the drinking game for you in the post-game. You got to play the audio of Mac's interview, and every time he says right, you got to take a shot.
Oh.
You wouldn't make it 3 minutes, man.
He says that a lot.
I love Mac to death.
He also goes, wow, that's a great question. And then after every question, but that doesn't matter if it's a terrible question.
But that's a smart approach because it gives you a chance to think through that answer. That's great training. But the whole right thing, I mean, I was just thinking about Bob Newhart or whatever, and for all those of you that are old enough for that one. So that you probably shouldn't compete in that one.
We got our no doubt. We got our mannerisms. I mentioned this before, but I love. We interviewed Jonathan. He's like. Fun fact. Everything was fun fact. I thought that was kind of cool, kind of different. All right, so Kyle asked, interesting comparisons about the quality of Michigan. Their game was a great one against Ohio State on Saturday. Both teams looked good, but Michigan had too much talent inside. How do you think Baylor matches up against Michigan?
And I haven't seen that much of Michigan. I'd seen a little bit more of them than I'd seen of Ohio State. But Michigan's got lots of talent. Guys handle the ball, livers, and the way
we played against Texas, Baylor, which is what I think we'll get back to pretty soon. That team is every bit as good as Gonzaga, or
I think so too.
I think much better than Michigan, and the analytics kind of bear it out. But tonight obviously was not our best effort for sure. So I mean we'll have to wait and see what it brings. All right, let's see.
Michigan played well coming off the pause too, though. Their first game out, didn't they look pretty good? I mean, it didn't seem to affect them like it affected us tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. They were rusty in the first half against Wisconsin.
Were they?
But then they turned it on. In the
Maybe I
saw
the second half of the game when they were pulling away. But
they were down 15-16 in the first half, I believe. So. Hey, thank you, Mark. Appreciate you doing the post-game show with us. We'll watch the end of this overtime game between Kansas and Texas. Thank you, Armstrong, for doing this with us. You've been listening to a SicEm365 post-game show with Ashley Hodge and Mark Lyerly. Sic 'em Bears.
Sic 'em Bears.